Hey guys. All right. Every time I start this, I'm always tinkering with the camera. All right. Oh my god. I think that works. Does it look weird? Okay. I have no idea if anybody's going to join me today because it is Monday and it is not Thanksgiving week. So I know everybody is back to the grind, back to the holiday shopping, stressed out for the holidays and everything like that. But I promised to go live 7 days in a row. So we are back, day 2 of the 7-day challenge for the It's Kells Collective. So I'm here. Um, Let me know that you could hear me, you could see me. It's not pixelated, it's not delayed because the last time, not the very last time, but the time before I did a video and it was all pixelated and weird. So I always want to check to make sure that you guys can like actually hear me or and then they can hear me. It's real quick for me, please, and let me know. Yep, you can hear me, you can see me, everything's all good. Because I see a couple people in here. But sometimes I do have some lurkers. Y'all be lurk. Oh, Steven, yes. Tried and true, Steven. Yep, to both. Okay, okay, okay. Well, as you guys could tell, oh wait, should I do my, hey guys, it's Kells here today or tonight. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and get started really right on kind of on time. Hey boo. I'm gonna go ahead and get started right on time today because it's late. Like I told you guys that I would go live between 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern time. But it's like already after 9 Eastern time. So I'm gonna try to jump right into it. As you guys can tell by the title, today we finally get to talk about the topic that I've been trying to talk about, even though I don't even know why I want to talk about this topic so much because I don't really have like any experience with it and I don't really have any stories or anything juicy to tell you guys about this, but I just thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about, and it's catfishing. So we definitely got an email in the iskells at Gmail box talking about a situation that I think is probably a little bit catfishy, Um, and so before I jump into the email, and I'm looking down because my laptop's here, as you guys know, I always keep my laptop right in front of me. But before we jump into this email, that the subject line is, I don't know what catfishing is. So before I glimpsed it and it looks pretty okay, and we even got some pictures, which I don't know if I should be showing, but it doesn't say that I shouldn't, so I might give you guys like a little quick peek. Um, but before we jump into it, catfishing. So just in case you have no idea what catfishing is a term. There's television shows about it on like cable TV and stuff like that, like oh my god, what's the channel, MTV and all those channels that I haven't watched in decades, but their show VH1 and all of them, there's shows on there talking about catfishing and if you've been catfished. And so essentially catfishing is when you are talking to someone online or you think you're communicating with one person, but in reality you're totally not communicating with the person that you think you're communicating with. And that's like when you're on, and I think the term is like kind of like, I don't know if it's exclusive, but it kind of primarily is talking about like romantic situations where you're like online dating and the person is like, oh, I'm 5'5", I'm super cute, like thin, blonde hair, blue eyes, and then when you meet them, they're damn 6 foot, 300-pound brunette, not anything like what they said they were, or they totally stand you up and you never hear from them again because you figured out that they're not really the person they're presenting themselves to be as they were online. Because like a bunch of people have all of these personalities and profiles that they fake or whatever online. So that's essentially what catfishing is. I've never dealt, before we jump into this email from this gentleman who wants to know, whether or not he's being catfished, or he says he doesn't know what catfishing is, but then he's telling me about a little situation. So I'll read the full of it for you guys in a second. But the only other, I never experienced catfishing, but the only time that I experienced this kind of like annoying anonymity, like mixed identity thing is with trolls on under my videos in the comments. Like, yo, these people be keyboard gangsters. You hear me? Like they be thinking, they be firing off they be just like, you ever seen that that Kermit meme where he's like frantically like doing like typing. That's how these trolls be in my comments, bruh. Sometimes I tell them stupidness, like I just tell them randomness and like egg them on just because it's funny to me. But then sometimes I get like totally annoyed and I just like block and report them and then delete their comments because I just feel like it's my channel. So that's the only time that like it's kind of catfishing, where people are like, one, they think, you know, because they're hidden behind the internet or they're hidden behind this profile, you don't really know, you don't really know what's up with them. No, the trolls are reckless, Steven. You, matter of fact, if you see trolls in my comments, just go ahead, do me a favor, do us all a favor, just report and block them. Like if you see trolls, because I want the community, I want the It's Kells community to be something of upliftment and positivity. And so instead of engaging them and clapping back, which I am guilty of, I will clap back on you, I really will, but I think I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I'm just going to block and report and delete them and just keep the energy of everything that we're doing here on the highest level, vibrating on the highest level, upliftment and all of those things, because that's what we're moving towards in 2018. All right, so that's my only experience with like people being gangsters behind the anonymity of the internet. So, oh, and especially, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but hey, Mbalu Jordan, hey girl, thanks for joining. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but that video about black women leveling up and Meghan Markle, yo, the people be in the comments just turning up, hating. Like, why does it hurt you so much when black women celebrate? Like, I don't, you know, everybody's trying to tell me how I should and what it shouldn't, but I'm just like, you guys are tripping, because I'm gonna do what I want and say what I want, and yeah, block you when I feel like. All right, so that's enough ranting about the catfish trolls, the YouTube, Twitter gangsters, keyboard gangsters. But today we are talking about catfishing. So I did a long time ago ask you guys to send in any instances of catfishing that you experienced, and I didn't really get, no one really wanted to say that they have been catfished, right? And so I was like, okay, well, I guess nobody's been catfished, so we won't talk about it. Hey, Lust for Life, what's up? I said, I guess nobody's talking about wanting to be catfish. Hey, you guys are watching, if you shout, hey, jump in the comments and give me a shout, announce yourself, let me know you're here, I'll give you a shout out. Steven's always here. Thank you, Steven. Lust for Life, I saw. M. Dalu, I see you, girl. Jungle of Gods, okay. Please help me with the word catfish. Okay, so I'm going to say it again really, really quick, because I did explain what catfish was. So catfish is the term when somebody who presents themselves as one person, usually online, but they are actually somebody else, or they're not the person they're pretending to be online. So they say, oh, I'm, you know, they steal a picture offline, or they steal somebody else's picture and they put that on their profile, online profile. And they say, oh, this is me. I'm Kells. My name is Kells. And they put my picture and they do this, or you know, somebody else, and then they pretend to be you. But then when it comes time for them to reveal themselves, like in person, or to meet the other person that they're talking to, they can't meet them. They either show up and they're not the person they said they were, or they blow them off and they stand them up and they never meet them. And then the person figures out, oh shoot, maybe the reason why I didn't meet them was because I was being catfished. Hold on, let me adjust this there. I think that's better. Maybe the reason why I didn't meet them was because I was being catfished. And sometimes it's kind of dangerous, because you think you have a deep relationship with this person, and you think you know them, because you know the internet has a way of making you feel like you know somebody more than you actually do, right? And so, yeah, so that's what catfishing is. It's like pretending to be one person when you're not. And somebody can be catfished when they thought they were talking to one person and all of a sudden they ain't talking to that's not the person, or they figure it out, or they say, hey, can we Skype? And the person's like, no, my camera's broken, I don't have internet, I can't afford, I can't do it now. And then you figure out, oh, you're a liar, you're not the person. So anyway, so that's what catfishing is, and that's what we're talking about today, because we got an email from a gentleman, I'm gonna call him AM, and his subject line says, I do not know what catfishing is. So I don't know if he's being facetious. I don't know if he's joking or what. Also, before I jump into this, guys, give this video a thumbs up. It helps me get noticed in this big wide world, world of YouTube. And also remember to put on your notifications so you know when I go live. I do syndicate and let you guys know on my Twitter. Sorry, I don't do my Twitter that much, but on my Instagram and on my Snapchat when I'm going live. But if you want to be notified by YouTube, go ahead and smash that notification button, smash the subscribe button, and give this video a thumbs up and keep the It's Kells Collective 7-Day Challenge going, okay? So that's enough of that advertisements. Let's jump into the email, shall we? All right. So the subject line says, I don't know. No, I don't have lipstick. Oh, no. Okay. The subject line says, I don't know what catfishing is. Okay. It says, hi, Kells. I just subbed to your YouTube channel. I just subbed to your YouTube channel. And then he gives me a compliment. Okay. Then he says, I am a white man and I absolutely love black women. Okay. I have attached a pic of myself. And then he has a picture here. And I don't know if I should show you guys this picture, but I can describe it. Hold on. Let me describe this gentleman. He is he's thanks, Stephen. He is an older gentleman, older white gentleman, clean shaven, buzz cut, glasses, little on the plump, pudgy side. He got on a turquoise plaid shirt and some dark denim jeans. The plaid shirt is buttoned down, short sleeve, tucked into his jeans. With a little black belt, and he is holding the camera as a selfie. He's holding it out and taking a picture of the mirror, so you know he's older and doesn't know that selfies really go like this instead of like that. So he's an older gentleman. I would say he's probably 52. A good-looking 52. I don't want to show the picture. I don't want to compromise anybody's personal personal information, because I'm just not about that. So I won't show you the picture, but I've described him, and he's clean shaven, and I don't see any ring, and he has a little watch, one of them Fitbit looking round watches. Okay, so he says, I'm a white man and I absolutely love black women. I have attached a pic of myself, and so I just described the pic. Then he says, I have a girlfriend who lives in Ghana. Can you talk about dating interracially and long distance? Okay. I have been dating my sweetheart for 6 months, and I am making plans to go to Ghana and bring her here to America. I absolutely hate dating sites because you never know what you're gonna get. By the way, I love your Ghanaian head wrap. Oh, I'd worn a Ghanaian head wrap from Delke's collection in Maryland, in Silver Spring, Maryland. In one of my last videos, it's the one from the last It's Kells Collective that had a bunch of views. Black women really don't like good black men. That video, he's talking about that head wrap from Ghana. He says, I absolutely hate dating sites because you never know what you're gonna get, which we talked about, like catfishing thing. By the way, I love your Ghanaian head wrap. What I love about Ghanaian ladies is that they are very loving and gracious. Okay. The lady is my girlfriend. And so he's also attached a picture of his Ghanaian girlfriend. Dark-skinned woman, braids swept to the side, younger. She probably looks about 38. But that's, I can tell she's about 38, but she could probably pass for 35. Rosy lips with a little lipstick. Eyebrows snatched for the gods. Yes, she is. She has her little earrings, and she has on a red flouncy top, almost like kind of how Rihanna had in the Wild Thoughts video, but not off the sleeve, on the sleeve. And it's like a print with black stitching all over it. So that's what she looks like. And so he says that's his girlfriend. So it's funny because in the subject line, he says, I don't know what catfishing is. And then in the email, he starts to ask me, that chick sounds like you. Is that you? You got a white older boyfriend in the US and you're in Ghana? So in the email, the subject line says, I don't know what catfishing is, but in the email, he asks me to talk about dating interracially and long distance. So I'm going to talk about the catfishing, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the interracial dating and maybe the long distance thing. Okay. This gentleman sounds, I'm going to call him AM. AM, you sound like a very sweet guy, and I see your picture, and you do look like a sweet guy. But it's interesting that you have a girlfriend from Ghana. So I'd be interested to hear the backstory of how you actually met this woman from Ghana. Now, I would assume that you met her online, even though in the email you said you don't like dating online. So, and you never know what you're gonna get. So how are you dating this woman from Ghana for 6 months? Unless you worked or traveled to Ghana and met her in person, and then you went back online. Didn't you, what didn't you say you're not the woman? Why are you answering talking about we met online? Um, so how exactly would you have met this woman? You must have met her online, right? And then you've been talking to her for 6 months. How much money you sent her? How much money have you sent her, AM? That's what I'm wondering, because for you to think that this woman is your girlfriend is sweet, but I really hope that you're not being taken advantage of, and I hope that you aren't being catfished, even though your subject says I don't know what catfishing is. So hopefully you aren't being catfished, but you really need to put some precautions in place to make sure that you're not being catfished. So I'm gonna throw out to my viewers watching, like, how do you guys protect yourself from being catfished? Have you ever been catfished? Jump in the comments and let me know. Chime in here. Have you ever been catfished, and how do you protect yourself from being catfished? Because that's some of the tips that I want to tell AM here before I jump into his interracial dating and his long distance dating. For catfishing, what I would say is that on some level, especially when you're dating online, there is some level of trust that you kind of have to blindly have. What you can probably do is, once you see them online and you start talking to them online, you can start talking about, you can start asking to Skype, so you live video. You can ask for them to send you other pictures of themselves, so you can see them in multiple pictures. Or you can ask them to they can say, oh, I'm eating dinner. And then you could say, oh, can you send me a picture of you eating dinner right now? And so you ask for like immediacy in their picture communications with you. Oh gosh, you could get real Inspector Gadget, like some of you guys are saying in the comments, and Google search the pics as well, even though that is really, 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 really creepy. I hate when people like cyber stalk you and Google you. I mean, everybody kind of Googles people, but don't Google and then be like, oh, I saw that in 6 years ago you spoke on that panel. It's freaking creepy, I swear to God. So be careful with the Googling and cyber stalking people to death, without actually being actually getting to know them, instead of reading about them online and thinking you know them. By Googling and looking at every single thing they have online. Actually get to know them. Do a little light Googling so they don't, you don't get catfished, but don't dig all 6 pages into the Google results trying to dig up something about this person, and then, go into the dinner with them like, oh, I already know everything there is to know about you. I read your LinkedIn extensively, and I see that, on your blog, 6 years ago, you wrote that article about when you went to Madrid. So, how did you like Madrid? That's creepy. Let the information come organically. So be careful about the Googling, but you can reverse image search the Google if you're afraid to be catfished. Ask immediacy, ask them to send you something quick, like right when what they're talking about in terms of imagery. Ask them to Skype or to video conference you. Tell them you want to see, hold the camera. Let me see. Oh, where are you? Oh, are you going to see the sunset? Show me the sunset. Let me see. I would love to see you in the sunset. Ask them to do that. Those are some ways. And you could do it on WhatsApp as well. You could do it not only image, but you could do it on their voice. So you can talk to them on the phone, and so you can actually hear their voice, even though the voice doesn't tell you every single thing about what a person looks like. But you could maybe hear an accent if they say, "Oh, I'm from New York," but then you talk to them and they sound Southern. Red flag, red flag, catfish. You know what I mean? Okay, I see you guys jumping in on how to not be catfished, and if you've been catfished. So let me jump in the comments and see what you guys are talking about. Okay, so you guys are saying, Jared is saying long distance ting is no trust. We'll talk about that. Skype, Amma B is saying use Skype to avoid being catfished. Lust for Life says, I've been catfished twice and I'm usually Inspector Gadget. How are you Inspector Gadget, Lust for Life? What do you do? How do you do it? Google search the pics too. Amma says, both times were because I didn't video verify like I knew I should have. LOL. Lust for life. So video verify is the number one tip, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but video verify is the number one tip for avoiding being catfished. Okay. If the pic looked too modelly. Okay, so if it's like too perfect, they might have snatched the pic from somebody else's profile and using it pretending like it's them. Or too professional. Okay. But I've also been, Lustful Life says, but I've also been questioned if I were real as well. Of course, you can't question other people about if they're real and if they're catfishing you and not expect to be questioned also. So you can't get offended. If you can dish it, you must can take it, right? So, if you're like, you catfishing, and they're like, no, I'm not, and they send you pictures, and then when they turn around and tell you, oh no, you catfishing, you can't act all brand new on them now. Come on now, you gotta be fair. Okay, how else? um Someone said they had, let me see what else. You've been questioned. Steven says someone said they had money to use for she and I. Someone said they had money to, I don't know what you're saying there, Steven. Network with friends of friends on social media. Okay, so Jared is saying you can avoid being catfished by having associations outside of just one-on-one, but like with other friends. Lust for Life, they're either going to Snapchat or Skype or other verification photos. Snapchat, yo, them quick little things, send, whatever. How soon into the relationship, into the online relationship, do you have to verify? How soon do you ask them to send you additional pictures? Or how soon do you ask them to jump on Skype or jump on Snapchat or jump on WhatsApp video? How soon into the relationship, into the online relationship or the online talking to them, do you ask them to verify themselves so you're not being catfished? Steven says there's too many red flags online. Okay. Lust for Life say I usually reverse image search Skype, phone, and background check because there's also the possibility of them being married or mentally ill. Yo, the amount of mentally ill people in the world, let alone on the internet, who think that they are some sort of professor know-it-all who's gonna diagnose you. Lord, them people be nuts online. Like, I guess I'm nuts too to be up in here. Lust says first week. Lust for Life says first week, but I do my homework right away. So he or she, Lust for Life, is saying they do their due diligence. You do your digging right away. And but for the other person, you ask them to verify all of that within the first week. That's kind of quick though. That's kind of quick. But I guess you don't want to waste your time, right? So you don't want to waste your time. You want to know that, the person is real or the person is not really a dude, as Steven says, which I don't know. These days, these dudes be looking snatchatch, like beat for the gods. Like, you can't even tell. You would have to feel, you'd have to feel them up or something to tell. And even then, you probably would just be like, okay, well, you just feel like one of these women that have plastic surgery. So you don't even feel any different than Shaquanda Navia down the road. So anyway, okay, so that's what you guys are saying you should do to avoid being catfished. That's pretty much all I can say. I mean, when you're dating online, which I absolutely despise, and I've deleted all, like, I used to try them because I do these dating videos. So I'm like, all right, let me try coffee meets bagel. Let me try, Lord, one time one of my besties put me on Plenty of Fish. I was on that thing for like 30 minutes to an hour. I deleted that bad boy quick, with a quickness. I was like, take me off of that. Take my pictures, take all my information off of that foolishness and delete it. She didn't want to do it. So as soon as she turned her back, I just ran in the app and deleted everything and closed it. Because I was like, nah, this stuff creepy. I was on Tinder for a hot minute. That is that will damage your self-esteem, the number of jerks and skevoids you get. I haven't tried the real online dating stuff like Match.com or eHarmony. Like, those ones seem like legit serious. Like, yo, I want to be married next week, I'm going on Match.com. Or I want to be married 2 months from now, I'm going on eHarmony. Like, I haven't tried any of those, but the little free, cheap, disgusting ones, I've tried a couple of them, but I absolutely despise all of them. So with that said, I don't usually get catfished because there's no opportunity to catfish because I meet you in person. Or I guess mainly meet in person. My friends don't hook me up. They don't. I'm too hard to please, apparently. So nobody hooks me up, but I'll meet you in person. So I never get catfish. Now, the funny thing is that people could catfish you in person. What's the term for when somebody you see them their face in person, but they're fronting like they're all of that and they got all of this going on, and then when you really come close to them and you really get to know them, they don't got nothing going on. That's the usual way that people catfish you. They catfish you with their dead face, like, yep, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, we're doing this, and I'm gonna do this, and we should get together, and we should do this, and we should go to Victoria Falls in Uganda. Yeah, let's do that. Let's travel together. And then all of it was blowing smoke. What's the term for that? When they do it with their dead face, not when they're hiding behind somebody else's picture. Because that is more along the lines of what I usually can experience from time to time. But the catfishing of pretending to be somebody else online, because I don't date online, it doesn't really affect me. But as you guys heard, immediacy, like Google them, but please don't be a creep. Like, you don't got to be like Googling and reading every single thing and then putting cross-searching all kind of stuff, and then gonna tell them, when you go to dinner with them, everything about them before they even reveal that information to you. That's creepy. Don't do that. But Google for your own safety, especially if you're a woman or a young lady and you're going out with a man that you, oh God forbid, met online. That there's so many safety issues with that. But or even somebody that is like a blind date that somebody hooked you up with, or somebody that you met one time at the mall. I was at the mall the other day and some guy stopped me and asked me for my number, and I was like, no, but I'll take yours. So if I do decide to like call him or text him and actually go out, like, how do you protect yourself? So it's especially important that you know who you're going out with and you're not being catfished if you're trying to protect yourself when you're dating. So that's why catfish is very dangerous, because you thinking you're talking to this person or this identity, and come to find out that ain't the person you've been talking to. You've been revealing all kind of secrets. You on the phone for hours and texting back and forth, and you think you talking to Kiki when you really talking to boo boo. So catfishing can be dangerous. So in the comments, everybody just kind of wrote what they think is the best way to protect themselves from catfishing. Immediacy, like Google them, but be low key about it. They don't know you. They don't gotta know you Googled them. You just gotta know you Googled them. Immediacy in the videos. So if they say, oh, I'm eating dinner, about a week or so, 2 weeks into the talk or the relationship, y'all talking, say, oh, send me a picture of your plate. I want to see how you cook. Can you cook? And try to get them to send you something immediate that's reflective of what they're doing in their face, or something like that with a chicken. Send me a picture of you eating chicken. I'd love to see that, and done with a chicken leg. Or get them to Skype, WhatsApp you, or what's that? Not Skype. What's the little one with the yellow one? Snapchat. Get them to Snapchat you, or get them to Instagram you right quick, so that you can immediately see who they are, so you don't get catfished. Okay, so if there's nothing further about the catfishing, I want to jump into he really asked about the dating interracially and the long distance. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. All right. Stephen, if the lady's really a dude, that's, you guys gonna have a hard time telling these dudes from these ladies nowadays. Okay. Too many pick thieves. Emotions seem to quadruple in online romances. They do. Online romances do feel like whirlwinds. Long distance relationships, the absence makes the heart grow fonder. Feels totally like whirlwind, and on the phone and talking and giggling and and all that. You'll be caught up in that, thinking you're talking to somebody that you know and you have no idea who they are. And they can be over fast, like this and that. The Tinder generation. Swipe left, swipe right, and deuces really fast. Quick fire relationships, and that's kind of disappointing, so you got to be careful with that. I hate apps. I just can't do it. Priv said she hates apps. Steven said, what's the best places to date online? Steven, I do not date online. Somebody jump in the comments and let Steven know what's the best places to date online, because as far as I know, going out in real life is the best way to meet somebody. I don't meet people online, because you can't tell. They can look good in their pictures, have these professional, I look good, I'm this. They had somebody professionally write up their doggone profile, and then when you meet them, they can't even string 2 sentences together. Like, no, I'm straight. I'll meet you in person. And then I can be able to, I can tell, I have a visceral or like a gut reaction of the person energetically. If I vibe with you, I can tell you in 2 seconds of even being in the same room with you, whether or not I F with you or not. So yeah, so that's easier for me. But online, somebody let Steven know what's the best place to date online. What do you guys are saying? Um, Lust for Life said one guy catfished me by using an older photo of him when he was in shape. He showed up 100 pounds overweight and begged me to date him anyway. The nerve! How dare them? No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Clearly, you're 100 pounds overweight, that you have issues you need to deal with personally before you try to trap somebody into dating you. And you done started the relationship off in a massive lie. Ooh, bright and feisty. No way. That's gross. Okay. It's really hard for a guy who doesn't have a car to date. If you are a guy and you have no car and you're trying to date, you are in the wrong mindset. Your mindset should be set your life up so that you can be ahead of somebody's household. If you have no car and no transportation, ain't nobody trying to date you. Steven, come on now. This is the It's Kells Collective. It's Kells channel. You know I'm going to tell you about yourself if you come with that. You can't. If you don't have a car, you shouldn't be dating. Look about a car. Simple. DB, that's funny. I don't know what you mean. Lust for Life, LOL. Less long distance relationships can sap you. DB, it sounds like you have a little story there, bro. You got a little long distance story you want to tell us in the comments? You want to share? Nah. Did you get your heart broke? What happened there, boo? Okay, just go to a bar, Steven. Bruce says, just go to a bar, Steven. And Lust for Life says, unless you're in a metro city. Honestly, even when you're in a metro city, the older you get, the less you want to be on that doggone metro. So if you kind of need a car the older you get. And usually people, as they get older, they move outside of the city, and so they start moving into suburbia. So they need like a little vehicle. You need a car, man. You need a car, or at least access to a car, like one of them Zip cars, or one of those car sharing services. I mean, come on. Um, yes, I have been in 2 years, two long distance relationships, and my heart was broken, and I've broken a heart. Okay. Unless you live in NYC, you should have a car. That's true. Who said that? Kenny H says, unless you live in NYC, you should have a car. It's not as easy as you think, dear. Yeah, Stephen, you're gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard. I can get that. It might be hard, but it's gonna be harder to even date a quality anybody without a vehicle. So sometimes you have to focus on the most pressing thing, the foundational thing, and then you can move on to the higher elevation thing. But you can't start trying to aspire to the higher elevation without having the foundation. Okay. How humiliating would it be to have your whole family taking the bus? I have definitely seen that in Miami. You see homeboy, Pookie, you see Pookie girlfriend, Kiki, and then you see Pookie and Kiki, 3 children, all on the Miami-Dade bus. I've seen it, and it is absolutely humiliating. You're right. I mean, it is humiliating. And then Lust for Life says, it's not supposed to be easy. You're a man. Okay, DB says, I challenge brothers, even in NYC, to get your credit right and get that ride. City Island is always a great place to eat. Okay, so that's what you guys are saying in the comments right now. What I'm going to do is, my laptop, oh Lord, I think my laptop done died. Okay, my laptop died. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump into the part about AM's email. He was saying he's not been catfished, so we gave him some tips on how not to be catfished. It was pretending like he had, but AM says that he has been dating his sweetheart in Ghana for the last 6 months. He is an older white male from America, and his girlfriend of the last 6 months is a younger Ghanaian woman. And he sent me pictures, which I didn't show you guys, but he sent me pictures. And he could be catfishing me. He could have pulled them pictures offline and said, "This is me, this is my girlfriend. Can you talk about catfishing?" And it totally probably wasn't him. It wasn't his girlfriend, but maybe I'm being catfished right now. But catfish usually has to do with romantic relationships online and dating, and so I've never had that experience. But we did give him some tips in the comments, and I gave some tips earlier in the live talking about the best ways not to be catfished. He didn't really specifically ask about catfish, but what he did ask about was dating interracially and dating long distance. So I will say this about the interracial dating, and I think everything has been said about interracial dating that needs to be said. You date who you want to date. You go where you feel comfortable. You go where you feel cherished and you feel loved. It doesn't matter, you know, and nothing outside of that matters. Life is too short, life is too hard for you to be worried about some frivolous, you know, political, you know, socio political designation that people make you check. So, you know, you go where you want to, you know, be. But the thing with interracial dating that I experienced is not dating, but a small experience that I had recently about in the early part of this year, like maybe in the beginning of the summer, that I thought I wanted to bring up when it pertains to interracial dating. So I was out at the W and I was with friends, and the W is like a fancy hotel here in DC. And it overlooks the White House, it overlooks the Washington Monument. Like, it's dope. Like, anybody in DC, if you're from DC, comment in the box there and let them know how dope the W is if you've been and if you're from DC. So, and oh, you guys, let me know where you're from, because yesterday's broadcast, a whole bunch of people were from New York. Like, everybody was from Brooklyn, Bronx, all these places. So, where are you guys from tonight? Let me know in the comments. So, DB says he stayed in the W once. Okay, so I was at the W and I was out with my friends, and like, yo, it was the beginning. I think it was the beginning of the summer, so it was still a little bit coolish. It was still a little bit coolish, but it wasn't super super hot. So yo, your girl was like, yo, the outfit was banging. So I go out, meet up with my friends. We have a couple of drinks, and then so I'm roaming around the club. And so at the W, you know, sometimes people get married. So there seemed like there was a bridal party there from someplace. And so I'm walking around. I see my girlfriend Patricia. Hey girl, randomly run into her. We start talking. I start walking back to my other group of friends. And some guy kind of like, you know, taps me or says something to me. And I, you know, I give a little double take. And he looked like a young Matthew McConaughey. I was like, well, hey there. Hi, what's up? So I didn't say that, obviously, but I just was like, oh, hey, what's up? How are you? And then so he was like, oh, yeah, you know, you look so great. You know, hey, are you here with friends? I'm like, oh yeah, my friends are there. You know, can I, you know, I'm walking back and forth and whatever, just, you know, sashaying through the club. You know, you gotta be synced. So, you know, I'm sashaying. So he was like, oh, okay, can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a drink? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, you can buy me a drink. And so we go, and by the way, that's the appropriate thing. Like, when you pull a girl from somewhere, you're somewhere and you're like, oh, there's a pretty girl, I want to talk to her. Don't just stand there, let her throat be dry. Offer her a drink, like offer her a seat, you know, offer her some food. Like, hello, you're taking up her time, so whatever. So he did the right thing. So he was like, oh, can I buy you a drink? I was like, oh, absolutely. So he's like, oh, what are you having? And I said, well, I can't remember what I was having. So he bought it for me. So he buys himself a drink and we start talking or whatever. He was there for the wedding. He was best man, you know, some drawn out story about himself. And so in the W, you have the long eating and bar area. And then over to the next side of the club, you have the dancing area. So, I think, I don't know which one of us brought up the idea, but we were like, okay, yeah, let's go over to the dancing area. So we go over to the dancing area and everybody in there, you know, everybody in there doing you know, all this. And so we're dancing, and it wasn't awkward or anything like that. Like, I think he knew how to like dance or whatever. And we're talking or whatever. And then he said something to me. And now, mind you, it was loud. And this was like my second or third drink. So I wasn't 100% sober, but 2 or 3 drinks does not make you, you know, not here, you know what I mean? Or like can't walk. Like you're totally coherent. You're just a little bit more like beer goggles, and you're just a little bit more like, what do they call it? Liquid couragey. So he said something, so we're talking or whatever. He says something to me like, Lord, I forgot what, he says something to me like, be yourself. You should be yourself. And I was like, excuse me, beg your pardon? Like, what are you talking about? And it was like, oh no, you should be yourself, or something. Like, he said something like that. And, you know, I was like, what the WTF? Like, bro, what is you talking about? Like, you know me, bro? You know me from somewhere, bro? Like, we met before? You know me from a past life? Like, how you know me? How you know what's me, be myself? So I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh no. And this man tried to explain, like, it came out that it looked like he thought I should have been more ghetto than I actually was, or I should have been speaking in a way that he thought was black, or you know, or I should have been behaving in a way that he understood black people to be, and he was like telling me to be myself. And I was like, oh God, like kill yourself. I was like, bruh, jump off the building right now. What are you talking about? You know anything about me? One, two, that's totally offensive. What are you talking about? Three, what kind of black people you know that can't string a sentence together with proper English? Four, how dare you tell somebody that you just met that? Five, you bought me a drink and you think you can tell me about myself? Six, you have psychological problems, clearly. Seven, bro, you're lucky to even be in my presence. Eight, excuse me, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You will never see me again. That is what I wanted to tell homeboy, talking about be yourself. Bro, you know me? First of all, you have no idea what kind of black I am or where I'm from or where I'm raised or anything about me. You know what I mean? You have no idea. And how dare you presume that every black person should fit into your mold or your construct of what black is? You just met me, and instead of understanding what kind of black you are dealing with or what kind of person you are dealing with, you're automatically going to shoot at the hip, tell me, oh, I need to be myself. So what you think I'm supposed to say? Oh my God, thank God you told me to be myself. Now I can talk like how I really want to talk. Turk, twerk, twerk. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted, white man? Because you got the wrong one. Like, this is really what I really wanted to show out on him, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? I just told him I was gonna go. So I would say, so I gave y'all that long drawn out story to say, if you are dating interracially, which you are more than welcome to do, don't you ever, ever in your long-legged life assume that you know anything about anyone based on the stereotypes of that group. Don't you ever. You better learn everything about that person from scratch. From scratch. Anything you've seen on TV. And I'm going to say this, and this is not politically correct, but I'm going to say it because, as I say on pretty much all of my broadcasts, it's Kells Collective. This ain't politically correct. This is Kellyanne as the world as Kellyanne sees it, right? So, okay. So, white people have a tendency to do this because they're the group that has the privilege of not understanding the nuances of other cultures. And it's not, I won't say it's by nature of just them just being white, but it's by nature of them being the majority group. So the majority group they're just the majority. They don't even business about the minorities. They don't even care about, what's going on with other cultures. They don't have to, because everything they do, everything they are, everything they breathe is what it is. Because they are the majority, and they define everything. So, I'm going to say that white people, be careful about this. Be careful about this. If you were the majority somewhere, don't make assumptions about minority groups or marginalized groups or groups that you just don't know. Don't assume. And you know what? Let me correct myself. Black people could be guilty of this too, or Latino people, or Asian people. You think you know about white people, or you think you know about black people, or you think you know about Mexicans. Oh, do you guys eat tortillas and beans every day for like every meal? Don't you ever. If you're dating interracially, be very, very careful about the assumptions you have about the group. Learn the person for the person, because these cultures are extremely nuanced, and you can very well offend somebody by telling them to be they self, which you're saying, oh, you're not ghetto enough for me. I thought y'all was ghetto, so why are you pretending to speak properly? Like, pretending, bruh. Like, I have an education. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, my parents are not from this country. What are you talking about? Like, I'm from this country and I still can speak properly. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So, don't make those assumptions. Be careful about the assumptions you have when you date interracially. But go forth and prosper with your interracial dating. I'm going to stop right there. And then after this, I'm going to jump into long distance relationships really, really quickly, because we're approaching the 45-minute mark. And guys, I can't be on here all night with y'all, but I see you guys commenting, going ham in the comments. Hold on. All right, so what are you guys saying in the comments here? You guys are saying, some of you know the W. Stephen, what is HU? I'm from HU. What the hell is HU? Oh, Hudson, Wisconsin. Oh, okay. I used to work at the W in New York. It's nice, that Jamaican is coming out laughing. Yes, absolutely, especially when I get mad. Priv says, ugh. DB says, I hate that. Being been happening to me for years. That expectation of some white folks to expect that, a mess. Um, and then it says, Priv says, how gross. I hate guys like that. So offensive. When will people understand that there isn't one way to be black? There's no one way to be white. There's no one way to be Latino. Look how many Spanish speaking countries there are. Look how many white countries that speak all these different languages. Look how many black countries that speak all of these languages. And I say that to say every one of our races is multifaceted. I mean, in the US, we just have these sweeping blankets in how we paint people, and it's really disgusting. You know what I mean? So you have to, don't just characterize people by whatever stereotype you think is associated with the least common denominator, which is their doggone skin color. That doesn't tell you anything about anybody. Nothing. What else? Yeah. Les says, yeah, all white ain't right. Those dating, check your character always. You don't need anyone's approval or recognition. Some of them will try you, and you have to check them. Oh yeah, you do have to. Microaggressions, like people telling you, oh, be yourself. That's called a microaggression. And sometimes you got to check them right away. Be like, wait a minute, hold, pause on the play. Yellow card, red flag, hold up, wait, pause. What do you mean by be myself? Hold on now, bruh. And you got to check them, you know what I mean? And then they want to call you an angry black woman or a aggressive black man. But, that's a story for another day. Anyway, all right, what else do we have here? Les says, yes, my ex was really into the ideal ghetto black woman. What is that? Isn't that an oxymoron? He liked me in bright color wigs and contact lenses, but I speak properly and came from different side of the tracks. I left him, LOL. Where you picked him up, girl? You should have dropped him off exactly where you picked him up. Like, that is crazy. You are not anyone else. Absolutely, Steven. DB says, I dated white one. She told me, you don't sound like you're from the Bronx. Oh, you ain't have enough ghetto, or I don't know how to do a Bronx accent, but you ain't have, how do New Yorkers say New York? You ain't have enough New York talk. She ain't believe you was from Bronx, DB. You had to no wait, I'm mixing it up, damn. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do a New York accent, but you get me. You ain't have enough lilt to your accent, I guess. Whatever. I guess that's what homeboy was trying to tell me. Oh, Matthew McConaughey looking boy talking about be yourself. Bruh, you know me? Okay. I'm glad I grew up in a multicultural family, though. It made me have love for everyone. Less the Bronx, New York, son. A lot of my family's from New York, so they have that crazy accent. Okay, so that's it for the interracial dating. Let's jump really, really quick into the long distance relationship. To finish out AM's email that we talked about earlier. So we talked about catfishing and how your biggest ways to avoid being catfished, and you guys shared your little stories, which were hilarious. Two, we talked about interracial dating, and you're free to do whatever, but don't you ever in your long-legged life bring your stereotypes about a culture into your interracial relationships. Be extremely careful and thoughtful about learning the individual that you're dating, and not just sweeping them with this American racist brush, because we have some race issues in this country. We got problems on it, bro. Okay, and the last thing I'm gonna talk about is long distance relationships. My opinion on long distance relationships, and DB, you chime in since you've been in 2 long distance relationships, and you said you've been heartbroken and you've broken somebody's heart. So chime in the comments and let the folks know how you got over that and how you dealt with that. But my opinion on long distance relationships is that you have to have an end in sight. So it can't be dating long distance in perpetuity. You're gonna date long distance and nobody has any plans to move. A doesn't have plans to move with B, and B doesn't have plans to move with A. Can't be that way. It cannot be that way. There has to be like a defined, okay, you know what? We've been dating long distance for 6 months. We really, 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 really like each other. A, you start looking for jobs where I live. B, girls start looking where I live. Boys start looking where I live. And whoever finds a job first, or whoever can financially afford to just say, hey, honey, you know what? I make enough money for the both of us. Come. Hopefully that's the man. Ladies, I would not advise you to do that. But so hopefully it's the man is like, come. And even though that's kind of scary too, because you don't want to really move in with somebody that you've only been dating. You actually want to kind of be engaged or something. At least. But you get the point. Like, somebody has to say, let's make the jump. Let's cut the cord, let's cut the phone cord, and actually we have to live near each other, and then we can test it out to see if we really, really F with each other in real life, like in close proximity. Long distance relationships. So other than that, that's my biggest tip for long distance relationships. That you will die of the pining. The pining, and my mom uses terminology. It's like you're pining for somebody. It's like you're fiending for them. Like you're like, oh, I really like them, but I can't ever be around them. And that kind of feeling that is like drawing on emotional energy and drawing you down into kind of this lower vibration of always being in a state of want. Like that's the thing with long distance relationships. They can be really emotionally taxing. So you want to cut the cord on that emotional taxing period and get into the period where you can actually see if you can deal with this person over the long term. That's my biggest advice for long distance dating. What other advices do you guys have about long distance dating, and what's been your experience? Jumping into the comments. Yeah, date long. Les says, yeah, date long distance with a purpose, preferably somebody who has high economic status, which makes moving country visas and cross country transportation less than an issue. Imagine international dating. Okay, I have to be truthful. I actually dated somebody from London long distance for about a year, and it ended, but because there was just no plans. Like he couldn't move here and I couldn't move there, and we weren't gonna get married just for the visa. So it just kind of fizzled and faded, and it sucks, but it happens. That's life, part of life. So that's like internationally dating. But if you're in the States, if you're a couple states away, yo, move. I was 19 when I got my heart broken. It took me 2 years to get over that one. When I broke the heart, I wasn't a good space for me professionally to be in. Okay, professional issues. Men don't usually do very well in relationships unless they're doing well professionally. And that provider protector thing. So if you are with a guy and he's flopping at work, the relationship probably is not going to go so well. So that's a good point, DB. Even though that wasn't the point you were making, but you get what I'm saying. Steven says, I think long distance relationships really think they would be hard. Absolutely, they're hard. The longest distance relationship I do is Queens or Harlem, Alma says. So basically, are you one of them bougie chicks that live like in Manhattan? They're like, oh, I can't go to Brooklyn, like cross the bridge. God forbid. Like, are you bougie, Alma? Maybe Jersey. Okay, so she's not bougie. Going to Jersey, I know back in the day, people were like, I don't cross that Brooklyn Bridge or whatever it is. And Jersey is unheard of. But I know everybody's expanding out into Hoboken. I heard is nice in Jersey, and Long Island City and Queens, and Williamsburg, and even Bushwick, and all Bed-Stuy, and Fort Greene. They turn it into all kind of niceness in Brooklyn. Yo, I lived in New York, so I appreciate the New Yorkers in the building. I used to live there. On and off for like short stints, 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, 3 months, 2 months, like that. Priv says, yes, only move with a ring. Ultimately, that's why I killed my long distance relationship, but I'm better off for it. He wasn't the right one for me, and vice versa. Okay. I don't mess with the Bronx. Okay, I'm gonna know something about these Bronx dudes. Write me in the It's Kells Collective Gmail box and let me know about the Bronx dudes, and I'll do a story about them. Okay, maybe we'll do about revealing all about guys from different cities. All right, guys, close your ears. Don't feel bad about this. Ladies, email me and let me know about guys in different cities, what you know, what you don't know. Like, this how they be. This what ladies need to be aware of. That might be a good chat on the It's Kells Collective day 3. Today's day 2, guys. Okay, and says, DB says, I am pilot, so honestly, so he's a pilot. It wasn't the issue that wasn't the issue at the time. I was definitely on my hops. Okay. And then, what's wrong with the Bronx? Uh-oh, DB, done started something in the comments, guys. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, we've been on for like 53 minutes. I see some of you guys are just on here lurking and watching and not jumping in the comments, but that's okay. So long as you do 3 things for me. Hit that like button. Please take a second to hit the like button right now. I see we only got 5 likes. Y'all need to turn up on them likes, please. I would very much appreciate it because it helps me get noticed in this world. 2, put your notifications on so you know when I go live. It'll chime. It'll give you a little chime. So it'll be like, oh, Lord, it's Kells going live. We got 5 more days in the 7-day challenge, and I'm going to try to go live every day between 7 and 9 p.m. I will go live every single day, and I'm going to try to ensure that it's between 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think that's 2. And 3, email me your dating drama, your dating tea, what you want me to talk about in what you want me to talk about in the next 5 days of It's Kells Collective. Send me a little story, send me a little narrative, and I can keep it anonymous, and I'll go ahead and bring it to you guys, and we'll chat about it like we are doing tonight. You will get my advice and my opinion, but I'm not the expert, so you will also get the advice and opinion. Thanks for liking the video, Priv. I really appreciate it. Guys, please follow suit and like this video. And come back tomorrow for day 3 of It's Kells Collective 7-day challenge. Oh God, I forgot my train of thought. What was I saying? Yeah, send me a little drama, a little tea. Send me some information about what you want me to talk about in terms of dating, dating in big cities, or Black women dating, or interracial dating, or anything like that that you guys want to know. Send me a quick email, and so I can continue the conversation for the next 5 days. This is round 2 of the 7-day challenge. It's Kells Collective. I have a playlist on my channel of all the first round of the 7-day challenge, which you guys have watched and liked all over the place, which I really appreciate. And so we're continuing on with round 2 of the 7-day challenge. Guys, I think that's it for tonight's topic. Let me jump in the comments one more again. Let me jump in the comments one more time and see what you guys are talking about, and then we're gonna end it for tonight because it's late. It's bedtime. Is it past me? Hello, what time you guys be going to bed? Like, it's past your bedtime. All you guys are American, so I know you're like on the East Coast. Do I have anybody from Cali in the building? Last night we did. All right, let's see. What are you guys saying in the comments? Comments, come on. Okay, here we go. DB wants to know, Amma, what's wrong with the Bronx? Amma said they tend to be too rough. Okay, can I tell y'all a little bit secret? I find everybody from New York has a tendency to be slightly rough. I know, that's a stereotype, my bad, but y'all be rough, boy. Not, sorry about that, so I got a call that jumped in. Not super rough, but just kind of rough, you know? And then, but that's a stereotype, so you guys can kill me in the comments. Prince want to know where I'm from. I'm from many places, my love. Many, 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 many places. Thanks for joining us. Priv says like. Thank you, boo. The Master says liked and turned on notifications. That's what's up. You haven't been on my lives before, the Master. Who are you? Introduce yourself to the peoples. I'm gentle as a lamb. DB, cut it out. Cut it out. You're probably a roughneck. It's weird watching you because you kind of look like a less pothead version of me. I don't know if I should be offended or what. I bartend. This like 5 p.m. to me. Okay, we got some night owls. Detroit, D. What up, though? What up, though? I was actually born in Detroit. Detroit versus everybody. I was actually born in Detroit. Sam Star, Albuquerque, New Mexico, saying hello. Wow, Pamela Hood, thank you for joining from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Send me a story. Send me an email on It's Kells Collective. I love that you guys are from all of these places. Like, send me a story from Albuquerque. How is dating? Pamela Hood, send me an email about how dating is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We need some West. I heard everybody was telling me women move west. The men or there are more men west than there are like on the East Coast like male to female ratio, more men. So Pamela Hood, tell me, send me an email. Let me know about how dating in the West is. She's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Sam Star says, it's the truth. New Yorkers are rude. Okay. Thanks, Kells. I see you in the group. Hey, what's up, Lustful? I don't know who you are though, but that's what's up. Terry Two Guns. Hey, boo. What's he saying? DB Warburg Avenue is hardcore. Okay, so they're talking about Bronx. Sam Star. I grew up in Detroit. 6 Mile and Gary Lord. I can't pronounce that, Sam. But what up, though? What up? Prince says, damn, where was you made at? A factory? Clearly, I mean, have you ever seen anything like this before? Like, come on, they made me in a petri dish. Maybe one day I'll share my background and lifestyle. DB, maybe one day you can see it in my videos. If you have to watch all my videos to kind of pick up where I'm from. Some of you already know. Some of you know the story, but you know. Les, I'm trying to get back on a better sleep schedule. Lately, I've been passing out at 7 a.m., thinking too much, leveling up, and smoking 420. Ha ha ha. Sleep is extremely elusive to me. Extremely. I have to really, really practice to get my sleep, you know? Terry Two Guns, you seem cool and down to earth. Why in God's name are you single? Terry Two Guns, who told you I was single? Yo, you people swear you know something from the internet, right? I didn't tell you I was single. I'm talking about dating. I didn't tell you I was single. I didn't tell you I was married either. So don't assume. Don't assume. Madster say Florida. What up? Mumford High School. You know that name from Detroit sounds familiar, Sam. Mumford. I think my sister. Did my sister? I can't say that. No, 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 no. That name sounds familiar. Definitely follower. Love the show. Good looking out. Give this video a thumbs up, guys. Smash the like button and put your notifications on and subscribe to the channel so you know when I go live. Oh, my bad. Terry Two Guns. You just show up in the comments, bro. Assuming, bruh. You gotta come back. You gotta hear the full story. Come back tomorrow between 7 and 9 p.m. Westside High School. What's up? It's Anna's niece. Maddie, you should not be watching this. You should not be watching this. This grown folk talk, girl. Shouldn't you be in bed? Should you pass your bedtime? Okay, guys. I hope Anna's watching with you so she can like cover your ears when I talk about something that is totally inappropriate. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, sweetheart. I know you have your own YouTube video. Put your YouTube channel in the comments. But be careful because these are grown folks, so I don't really want them going over to your YouTube channel and like being weird. So anyway, thanks for watching. Okay, guys, that's enough talking. That's totally enough talking. I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy dating world. Come back tomorrow between 7 and 9 p.m. for day 3 of It's Kells Collective 7-day challenge, where I bring your dating drama, dating tea, dating stories from my It's Kells Collective at Gmail box live to you folks, and you guys get to comment, feedback, chime in. Not only me talking my head off, but you actually sharing your insights and everything like that. Terry Two Guns, look good looking out. See you tomorrow. Sam, good looking out. See you guys tomorrow. And Patricia from New Mexico, send me some stories from the West if you're from the West. Anyway, guys, thank you guys. Night.